So we're going to write equations of lines. We're writing linear equations. We're writing them. So before, we're graphing them. I give you an equation, you graph it, right? That's what we did in our warm-up. Now, you're going to have a graph, and you're going to come up with the equation. Okay, so that's what's different about this. Given the graph, can you find the equation? So let's see. Slope and y. So basically, based on different situations, there's different ways of finding these equations. So if you know the slope and the y-intercept, write an equation given a slope and a y-intercept. So for example, if I tell you this line has a slope of -2 and a y-intercept of 5, can you figure out what the equation of that line is? What do you think, Peter?
Y equals -2 plus 5. Y equals -2x plus 5.
Good, he corrected himself. Now how'd you get that?
Because y equals x plus 3 and the slope is m and the y intercept is 8.
You just like put the -2 here and you put the 5 here. And y equals -2x plus 5? Is that what we did?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. So that's what all this says. And so, yeah, right? That's it. That's it. Okay? That's it.
Is that all that's on the
If you know this slope, and if you know the y-intercept, you just plug it right into y equals mx plus b, and that's why the u-tries are here already. Okay? So the u-tries are right near the top of the page. Go ahead and fill them in.
Already.
And how'd you do?
Good.
And I put the answers up. Did you get y equals 7x minus 11?
I didn't put the parentheses right.
Well, this is because I'm not able to write fractions on those things too easily. So y equals 2/3 x plus 5, and y equals -7/5 x minus 2. We could all do that?
Yeah.
Isn't that great? That if you know slope and y-intercept, that is all you have to do. That's all you have to do. So let's say I give you a graph of a line. So if I know slope and y-intercept, this is easy, right? So we can figure it out. We need what? The slope. And we also need the y-intercept. Those are the two things we need. So let's see. Look at the graph. What's the y-intercept? Right? And that's going to be your b, right? And y equals mx plus b, we already know b. Okay. Now we need to find the slope. So we've got a couple of different ways of finding slope. One is to find two different points. So here's one point, 0, 3. And then where is there another point? I see one right here. So what is that one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? And so the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's see, 3 minus 1 over 0 minus 5.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It looks like the slope is -2/5.
That's easy enough.
It's easy enough. And you know what? Option 2 is you can find the slope by boxes, right? So to get from here to here, I have to go down 2, right? My change in y is -2 because down is negative. And then I go count right. There's 5 boxes here. So change in y over change in x is -2/5. So same thing. It's just kind of two ways to approach it. So find your slope. So I have the slope. I have the y-intercept. What's the equation of this line? Now, what is it?
Y equals -2y plus 3.
Yeah. That's it. How hard is this?
Easy. So
Right? If you find them, you find b. Y equals mx plus b. If it's the graph of a line, find that slope by analyzing that line. Find b just by looking at the y-intercept.
we're gonna have to do this with inequalities.
With inequalities. Kind of. But it's the same, right? It's the same. It's the same thing. If you know the y-intercept, you need to find it. If it was shaded below, it's a less than. If it's shaded above, it's greater than. So it's the same kind of thing. Let's see what else. So here's some more u-tries. What? What am I waiting for?
I have a question.
Yeah.
On the last one, how is 3 the
Y-intercept. B. Right? Because that's the y-intercept.
why is it
It is in this case, we're using the same one. So here's x1, y1. Here was x2, y2. So these were my 2 points, and it just so happens I'm using the y-intercept as one of my points. I could have used a different point. Yes? Why is it what? Oh, because I did y2 minus y1, and I actually went this direction. I made this my x1, y1, and this my x2, y2. Can I do that? Sure. As long as you're subtracting in that same direction. I went 3 minus 1, 0 minus 5. You can go the other way if you wanted to. You could have done y minus 3 over 5 minus 0. You get the same thing, you get negative 2 over 5. As long as you're going in the same direction, go either way. All right, so you try. Here's 2 graphs. Find the y-intercept, find the slope, and write the equation. It's always a change in y and a change in x. So it's always y over x.
Y1.
You can do y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Does not matter who's x1 and who's x2. Subtract in the same direction if you know what I mean.
Yeah, just like the y, because y could be on the top.
Y is always on the top. It's vertical over horizontal. Always. Yeah. You can count the boxes, absolutely. Yes. Huh? All right, let's see what happened here. The y-intercept is 4, right? We agree with that? Well, I'm going to do both of them, right? And then so I'm looking. Now, if you pick this one, that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 down. Over 1, 2, 3, 3 right. Always reduce your fraction. Now, you don't have to use this point. It's like, wait a second. Here's some other points. Down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. Okay, so the slope, and you had a great question. I hope you don't mind me like bringing it up, Rana, but she said, well, is the slope 2? Because, you know, sometimes you're like, yeah, I see it's 2. That's the ratio. How can you, if you can't remember, you know, is it positive, negative, look at this line. Is this a positive, negative, 0, or undefined line? Negative. That's going to help you make sure that you're putting in your signs the correct way. And then once I know that, y equals negative 2x plus 4, y equals mx plus 3. Who got this one? Okay, great. Now this one, again, so I can find my y-intercept, right, negative 5. And then I need 2 points, and like not quite, and I like them meeting right where two of these little lines meet, right in the corner. This one I went up, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 4. That's a positive, right? Up positive. 1, 2, 3. Going right is also positive. And that's where my slope of 4/3 came from. Or y minus y1 over x2 minus x1 minus 1. And then I got my slope, I got my y-intercept, y equals 4/3 x minus 5. Yeah?
I was looking at this and I saw they have the domain
Hang on 1 second. Hold that thought for a second. Hold that thought for a second. All right, now, that's if you, okay, so if you know slope, you know y-intercept, just throw it together. If you have a line, find the slope, find the y-intercept, y equals mx plus b. What if I give you 2 points? I say, here's a line, 2 points on this line are right here. What's the equation of the line? Well, can I find the slope?
Yeah.
Yes, right? Change in y over change in x. So I guess I'll go this direction. So what's 4 minus negative 1? 5, right? 4 plus 1. Minus minus. 10 minus 0 is 10. I can reduce that to 1/2. Always go to that simplest form. Now, I need the y-intercept. Let's see if I graph this if this helps. I'm going to sketch a graph. 10, 4, something like that, right? Now, what does 0, negative 1 look like? Oh, wait a second. What's the y-intercept? Negative 1. So remember this. Y-intercepts have x's of 0, right? Don't y-intercepts have x's of 0? This point is the y-intercept. So I have the slope, I have the y-intercept. What's my equation? Half x minus 1. And that's the equation of that one. So 2 points. Look at this. One of them's the y-intercept. So that's what this is trying to get you to see. Like for example, how do I find the slope of this guy? 9 minus 6, right? That's 3. And 4 minus 0? What's the y-intercept?
6.
What's my equation?
Y equals 3 plus 4.
Right? Okay, try the other two. Hopefully you got at least number 2. How'd you do? Your y equals negative 9/5 x plus 8? No? Let's see, let's find the slope. Negative 1 minus 8, that's negative 9. 5 minus 0, 0. Oh wait, that's my y-intercept, because the x value is 0. So y equals 9/5 x plus 8. This one you have to find your slope. You get a slope of negative 1? Yeah. Negative 14 minus negative 8, that's negative 14 plus 8. That's negative 6, right? 0 minus negative 6, positive 6. So I reduce that to negative 1. This has an x value of 0. This is my y-intercept. So y equals negative x minus 14. Right? So is this hard? Yep. Whenever you have 2 points and you want your slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Questions? What would be a logical next question? What do you think? No? Anybody wondering, well, what if they don't give you the y-intercept? What if the second point is not the y-intercept? Oh, no, there's a solution. Absolutely. Any 2 points, right, we're going to make a line. So, yeah, there's a solution. Well, we can find the slope. It's just what's the y-intercept. So, what if you don't know the y-intercept? So, we're on the back here. So, this one's a little bit new, okay? We're all on the back? Okay. We know this slope formula, don't we? Is this the slope formula? No?
Yes.
Yes. I did a little thing here where I took the 2's away. And so bear with me. Otherwise, it's pretty much the slope formula. A change in y over a change in x. What I want to do is I want to make this not be a fraction anymore. How do I make this not be a fraction anymore? By what? The denominator. This is my denominator. Now this is an expression, and when I do that, I like to group it. So if I multiply this guy by x minus x1, what am I going to have to do to this side? That is the multiplication property of equality, right? I'm going to just turn it slightly. That becomes x, I'm just using the commutative property of multiplication internally. And then this is now gone, right? I'm going to use the symmetric property of equality and just turn this whole thing around. This whole thing here is called the point-slope formula. This is one you have to know this. And it looks like another thing to memorize, right? And it is. Y minus y1 equals m times this grouping, x minus x1. But remember where it came from. It's the slope formula kind of on its side, right? If you know the slope formula, you should be able to get back here. And I think we all know the slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And what is happening here is this x1, y1 is a point on your line, and m is the slope, which is why it's called point slope. If I know those 2 things, I can write an equation. Okay, so let's see how it works. Suppose I want to write the equation of a line, and just to kind of make a picture of it, it goes through point 46, and it's got a slope of 2. I mean, you can go up to the right one or down to the right one, right? You get something like this. What is the equation of that line? And so point slope will help us. So my slope is what? And these are your x1s and your y1. That's your m, and that's your x1, and that's your y1. So write out the formula. It's y minus y1 equals m times, and in grouped, in parentheses, x minus x1. Start with that, and then substitute. So what is y1? Yeah? 6. That goes here. What's M?
4.
M.
-4.
M.
No, M is 2.
2. X minus what's x1? 4. This is the point slope equation of the line. Usually we don't use this form. How do I get it back into slope intercept form? What do you think I can do? How about we distribute? Let's distribute first. Y minus 6 equals 2 times x is positive 2 times negative 4. I want y by itself. Add 6. And I get y equals 2x minus 8 plus 6 minus 2. That would be the equation of this line. How can I check it? First of all, does it have a slope of 2, this line?
Yeah.
So that part matches. How else can I check this stuff? Plug this guy in, right? Should make a true statement. So when y is 6 and x is 4, do I get a true statement? Well, that part's 6. 2 times 4, so I get 8 minus 2. And 6 equals 6, right? Is this a solution to that line? Yeah. That's a pretty good check. I think I'm in good shape now. Yes, ma'am. Can there be any other solutions? That's a great question. What do you guys think? Can there be any other equations that are going to have a slope of 2 and go through point 4, comma 6?
Yeah.
Yeah? No? This is it, right? This is it. This is the only line that goes through 4. Because think about it. You would go up to right one or down to left one. There's only one line that describes the situation. We've got this point with a slope of 2. So that's it. That's the line. Let's try some new examples here. Now, I've given you 2 points. First thing you do when I say 2 points and write the equation of the line is one of these points the y-intercept. How can I tell if one of the points is the y-intercept? How can I tell?
X.
Right. So are any of these have an x of 0? So this is not the easy one. This isn't just one where you find the slope and you find the y-intercept there. But I can use point slope. So I do need to find the slope. How do I find slope? Yeah. Okay. Changing y over changing x. -2? Okay, now, I've got 2 points. How many points do I need for point slope? How many points do I need? Well, for point slope? I already know the slope. How, 1. But I have 2. Pick one. Does not matter. You pick one that you think might look a little easier. In this situation, I guess I'll go this one. The numbers look a little smaller. I might not make a mistake, but you can do either one. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I do want you writing out this formula to start with. This would be one, you know how beginning of the test you can write out your formulas? This becomes something you're going to add to your little private formula sheet then. You don't want that on there. So y minus, what's y1?
Y minus 2.
Equals, what's my slope? X minus 7. Be careful. A common mistake is to mix up. The y goes here, the x goes here, the slope goes here. Do your distribution and be careful. -2 times x.
Wait. Y1 is minus 2.
Y1 is 2. This is m.
Oh,
Be careful with that. What's a -2 times a -7? Plus 14. Add 2 to both sides. And then can I do a little check just to get, geez, does this look about right? So as long as I got my slope right, it does have a slope of -2. Let's say I plug in a 7. -2 times 7 is -14. -14 plus 6? Let's say 14 plus 6. -14 plus 16.
Oh, 2.
2. Good. That's what I want. Let's try this point. What's -2 times 2? 2 times 2. I'm plugging it in right there. I'm putting a 2 in. So that's -4 plus I go with my like terms. So 14 plus 2, those combine. I can't combine that with an s. Okay? What do you think so far? It's kind of it. It's kind of it. I'm looking at a word problem here. Recording studio charges musicians $35 an hour plus an initial fee. There's some recording fee, one-time fee. After using the studio for 2 hours, the musicians were charged $120. Wow, so we've got to kind of figure out what's going on here, right? An equation that gives the total cost. So, so how do I do this? Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I think we're going to do x, the slope is going to be minus.
Okay, so you say what the slope is what?
No, the amount of, money is.
The amount of money and then we got.
Because what is this? This is like y equals $35 times the number of hours plus some initial charge. So we're basically, we got to find that, right? So this is my slope, but I have a point, right? If you're there for 2 hours, it was $120. So I have a point and I have a slope, point slope. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus, what's y1? What's m? And then x minus, what's x1? 2. Okay, so now we distribute. That'd be right, 35 times 2. Add 120 to both sides. Sorry. Y equals 35x plus, I have to add that 120. What's minus 70 plus 120? 50. So what was the initial fee? $50. $50 to get in there plus $35 an hour. Is that easy? Maybe. But it's certainly a practice thing. Find the total cost if it takes you 10 hours of studio time to make this up. Yes, ma'am.
Would you say m equals 35 and then the point would be 10,
The point is 2, 110. Oh, for this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you can do that. Yep. It's 10, I don't know. So I know x and I need to find y. And so I have an equation now. It's $35 an hour plus a $50 fee. So where is that 10 going? Is it the y or the x? I like how she says that. Is it the x or the y, Brenda? Where does the 10 go? Here? Or here? Yes. So that's 350 plus 50, which is, looks like $400. If you need 10 hours of recording time. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Okay. That's everything. And so, I'm going to read the new chart first, and then I'll give you the new tries. So, let's review how you do this. Guys, stop talking. So, if you know the slope in the y-intercept, plug it in. Y equals mx plus b. If you have the graph of a line, and you can see the y-intercept on that line, figure out what the slope is, either by counting boxes or using the slope formula, and read the graph to find b. Y equals mx plus b. If you have 2 points on slope and a point, you know a point, you have the slope, and you have a point. Use the point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals n times x minus x1. And that's your x1, y1 right there. If you have 2 points on a line, you calculate slope. And if one of the points happens to be 0 something, right, that's your y-intercept. Come back up here. If not, use one of the points in the point slope formula. Pick either one. Does not matter. Yes?
Will we ever get a graph without slope?
Yes!
No.
So that's an excellent question. What if it's a graph? And like, let's say this is 1, this is 2, and right here's the point. And here is your line. And you can't really read what that slope intercept is. That's an excellent question, what the y-intercept is. So what would I do, Noah? What do I do in this situation? situation, because it's a graph where I can't read the y-intercept. Yes. Find 2 points that you can read, and then it becomes this problem. Calculate your m, use the point slope formula. Excellent question. Make sense? Alrighty, so going back to these U tries now, see if we can figure out the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. When you're all done, that's what I want, slope-intercept form. And you may need point slope to get there, so give it a try. Okay, as you do them, go ahead and check your answers, see how you're doing. Check those answers. I'm only showing you this other way. I don't like this other way, but in case, like, you ask dad for help, or mom, or grandpa, whatever. So some people do this. They say this is x and this is y, and y equals mx plus b. And so they say, okay, so I'm going to put the 1 here. I know the slope is 2. I'm going to put the 2 here. And then they say, okay, so that's 1 equals 4 plus b. And then they subtract, and they say negative 3 is b. And then they say, okay, well, that's the slope, that's the b. Y equals 2x minus 3. You might see that, and there's nothing incorrect about this. There are a couple of reasons why I do not recommend this method. Okay, and I'm only saying this because your best friend and her classmate is doing this, or if you ask somebody for help at home, they might say do this. This is error prone. Here's what I find is people don't either solve this correctly, or they don't know what to do with this, or they don't know how to put it back together. This is how many steps? It's y minus 1 equals 2 times x minus 2. Y minus 1 equals 2x minus 4. Y equals 2x minus 3. Clean. You get the equation. It's done. So this one, it's shorter, and you get right to your solution. There's no having to plug things back in. The other reason I really strongly recommend this is because it's setting you up for something else you're going to need to be able to do in Algebra 2, which is called vertex formula quadratic, working with an x minus. Right now, who cares, right? We don't care. But if you kind of get used to this kind of format of writing equations, this is kind of vertex form of a line in a way, it will help you in Algebra 2. So I strongly, strongly recommend this method over this other method, okay? I'm only pointing it out because, it's there. You might see other people using it. Just remember, Mrs. Grieser says don't do that, okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we do that?
What?
Can we do our section?
Use this method. Use point slope formula. Then, yes. It's the only way I get you to do things. Yes, I'll take points off. This is easier. It really is. It's like strange looking, and we're less comfortable with it when we start. But it is easier in the long run. Trust me. Yes. See? Sure. So we have to find the slope, right? None of these is a y-intercept because it doesn't have a 0. So let's see. Negative 2 minus 1. 6 minus 12, right? I can reduce that to a half. Now I'm going to pick one of these to be my point. Which one do you want to use? And you know what? A lot of times when there's negatives and there's one without negatives, I will pick that one. Seems like we're less likely to make a mistake. But you can use the other one. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Y minus 1 equals slope of a half. X minus the x value of 12. Y minus 1 equals half x minus what's half of 12. Add 1. So y equals half x minus 6 plus 1 x minus 5. There it is. Yes?
Okay.
Huh?
You wrote off y minus 1 equals 2
X minus 2.
But how do you get to the next step?
I distributed 2 times x, 2 times negative 2, and then here I added 1. Yeah? So we're good? Any other questions?